Hey folks, back with ancient cosmography. So I did some new comparisons of the Lascaux scene, the famous scene at Lascaux, 20,000-year-old French cave painting of the Southwest Pacific Islands. So this seems to be Australia as the bison, Papua as the recumbent man, and the Philippines as and Sulawesi and Taiwan as this guy with Zamboanga as his head. And and then I guess, what is it? Here's another version of it with where I basically, I just flipped this part. I basically just took an actual, this is basically an actual contiguous scene of the Southwest Pacific Islands, but I just cut it in half and flipped half of it horizontally. So that way, it fits the orientation here pretty well, because you have the bison here, and then you have the man here getting trampled, and then below the man you have the Philippines god over here. And then here's another version where I separated this into two also, so then I divided the whole thing in three. And so you have Australia, Papua, and the Philippines god, and Lesser Sundas, Palawan, Lesser Sundas, and here's the Philippines god. I call him the Philippines god because most of him is the Philippines. He's also Sulawesi, Indonesia, and Taiwan, China, but most of him is the Philippines. Although he doesn't include Palawan, which is part of the Philippines, but is his nemesis. Okay, so here now I'm pretty convinced that this this avatar basically is the origin of, or I don't know, that's what I think, that this avatar of Australia is the origin of Capricorn, because they say located in the southern hemisphere, which obviously matches Australia. Capricornus represents a creature that is a blend of fish and goat. The name means goat horn in Latin. So this guy, he's a bison here, but arguably his head actually looks as much like a goat as a bison, or maybe more like a goat than a bison. And it could be that the fish aspect just means that he's like a separated kind of island from, Afro-Eurasia. Who knows? But so his name literally just means goat horn. And the Tropic of Capricorn is right immediately adjacent to this goat horn, or this, horn here. In Greek mythology, the constellation is sometimes identified as Amalthea, the goat that suckled the infant Zeus after his mother Rhea saved him from being devoured by his father Kronos, who is Saturn. Zeus is Jupiter. Amalthea's broken horn was transformed into the cornucopia, or horn of plenty. So this is a broken horn, obviously, because it's like, here's the face of the goat or bison or what have you. There's one horn is Warganborough Peninsula, and then this other horn is Camp Islands. And then it's like broken between, and there's all these little islands here. So the islands can represent the kind of blood and whatever from breaking off the horn, or the pieces from that. Also can represent the cornucopia, like the plenty that's coming out of the horn, and or the plenty that's coming out of the horn could be just the sun rising in the Tropic of Capricorn in the solstice. So yeah, it could be one or both of those meanings. And, you know, maybe that Cancer was seen as being a crab and sometimes as a dung beetle, due to the shape of Taiwan, which is where the Tropic of Cancer goes through, you know, Taiwan and Penghu, and which is could be arguably shaped as a dung beetle, or if you include Penghu, it could be shaped as a crab somewhat. And I think my phone's about to cut me off because it's too full of photos. So yeah, the chat GPT lies. You ask them questions, they tell you stuff that's obviously not true. Well, this shows how the shaft where this is all painted is its own separate shaft, which I think indicates that it's a